Hello everybody, thank you for watching Crystalline Science. This is Crystalline Mahalik here teaching you mid-level science. Today we're going to talk about the lunar phases, and so I'm going to show you kind of what the moon looks like as it revolves around Earth and as Earth revolves around the sun, and how all those factors come together to make our moon phases. And so first of all, this light is going to represent the sun. The sun is our only light source in our solar system. It's important to note that the moon does not have its own light source. A lot of my students say, wait, doesn't the moon light up? And I say, no, it's just reflecting the sun's light. The moon is just a rock. It's an awesome rock, but it's just a rock, okay? So in this simulator here, we have the lamp, which is the sun. We have the Earth, which is this apple. Look how happy. So that's us, that's Earth. And then I have this moon. Now this moon is like a halo that I covered half of with Sharpie. That's just sort of to symbolize that there is always one light side and one dark side of the moon, just like how there's always one light side and one dark side of Earth. One side's on daytime, the other side's on night. Same thing with the moon. It's just reflecting that sun's light as it moves around. It's also important to notice that there is no permanent dark side of the moon. You know, if you like Pink Floyd, that's great, but at the end of the song, he goes, ha ha ha, there is no dark side of the moon, because there's no dark side of the moon. As the moon goes around, all the sides of the moon light up in daytime, just like Earth when it flies around, you know, revolves around the sun. As it rotates, it changes from daytime to nighttime, and so there's always daytime and nighttime somewhere on the Earth and somewhere on the moon. So, here's how it goes. Sun projecting light onto Earth. This is daytime on Earth. And so in the sky, if the moon is here, let's say it's right between kind of the sun and the Earth, the daytime side of the moon is facing the sun. And so we don't see the daytime side of the moon. What we're seeing is this. It's dark, it's in the sky, we can't even see it because it's too dark to see. And so we call this a new moon. New moon means no moon. There's no moon in the sky, and it really sets the next cycle of the moon phases. So a new moon is the reset. It happens every 29 and a half days, and that's when there is no moon in the sky that we can see. It's still there, it's just we can't see it, okay? And the moon goes around the Earth counterclockwise from the north, and so it's going to come over here. Now at this point in time, we start to see a little sliver of the right-hand side of the moon, and we call that a waxing crescent. Waxing means it's turning on, and so we're leaving the new moon stage and we're eventually going to become a full moon. And so since it is the D side, the right-hand side of the moon, we call that waxing, since we know it's turning on. And so as it continues to go around the Earth here, we get to this point. Now at this point, what we can see from Earth will look like this. And so we see that full D side of the moon, and we call this the first quarter moon. Since it is still waxing and it's still turning on, it's our first quarter moon. And so as the moon then keeps going around the sun, what we end up seeing is more of that right-hand side of the moon. And so we'll see that there's a sliver missing in the sky, but it's clearly more than just that quarter moon, and we call this a gibbous moon. This is going to be a waxing gibbous moon. Now after we get through that waxing gibbous moon, we come over here. Now Earth's nighttime can see all of that full part of the moon, and so the full moon happens when we're all lined up again like this. Now, I don't know why we call it a full moon, because it should be called a half moon, because the other half's on the other side, right? So this is really a second quarter moon. We can see a second quarter, one half of the moon. We can see all of the daytime side of the moon, right? We call that a full moon. And so as it comes back around again, now it's not waxing anymore. It's waning. It's leaving. It's fading. Like when your enthusiasm is waning, it's fading. I don't know. Anyways, so now what we're left seeing is this. It's a gibbous on the other side, and we can see the C side of the moon instead of the D. Okay, so we see the left-hand side of the moon. We see that there's a sliver missing. This is called a waning gibbous moon. All right, as we continue to go around here, next what we're at is this, which is going to look like this to Earth people. And so we're able to see that C side of the moon. This is a third quarter moon. We know it's a third quarter because the left-hand side of it is illuminated, and we know that it is waning. And so as that goes around, what we're left seeing then is this. Just a little sliver of the moon on the seaside on the left. That is called a waning crescent because we know that it'll be leaving, and soon enough we'll be back to a new moon when it lines back up again. And those are those moon phases, or phases of the moon. One easy way that I remember waxing versus waning is that I look in the sky, and if I can trace the illuminated side of the moon with my right hand, I know it's waxing. And if I can trace the illuminated side of the moon with my left hand, I know that it's waning or leaving. And an easy trick that I use to remember that is I pick up my right hand and I say, wax on, wane off. Wax on, wane off. Wax on, wane off. And so you know that if it is on that right hand side, it's wax on. Oh, it's turning on. Or if you can trace the outside of the moon with your left hand, wane off. It's going away. All right, so those are the moon phases. I hope this helps. Please like and subscribe if you thought this was helpful. Thor thinks you should like and subscribe. Have a good one. See ya.